Hello, friends, and welcome back to episode number 34 of the only show that happens to be on YouTube where the host knows almost everything there is to know about pinball, yet doesn't get to play as often as he wants to. I am Brad Komjenik, and you have joined me on the Have I Told You About This podcast and show. Welcome back, friends. Love it that we made it to 34 shows. And again, as always, I must thank each and every one of you who have taken the time to click the little like button, subscribe to the show, tell other people about it, or dislike and tell me why you don't like it. That's fair too, right? I mean, it's part of life. Not everyone is going to enjoy everything we do. And well, I'm okay with that. But at least you have a voice and hopefully you use it. And I appreciate those of you that have. The numbers have been slowly growing as I had hoped they would. And that's only because of you. Thank you so much. All right. This is the show where each and every week my mind takes me places and then I bring you along with me. Well, this week, my mind went to pinball and I couldn't get pinball off the brain. Well, see, that normally happens to me because I have this awesome program game on my PC that I love to play called Pinball FX, and it has a lot of the pinball machines that I used to play when I was younger, and then even some that some more of the kind of newer machines that you can play, and they're pretty much really great recreations of the tables. But then there's also new tables that Zen Pinballs, the maker, have made themselves, and they're fun to play. And it's always great to get to play new machines. This week, the Williams Pinball Pack 10 came out, and it included three pinball machines, which were, I believe, one is called Fire, and it's about a town that's on fire. And using your flippers and the balls, you're gonna watch the buildings get set on fire, and then you're gonna put the fires out. And it's really, really cool. And Zen has added things to the pinball machines that the normal machines, even the real fire machine, didn't have, like animated people and firemen that walk across it, and flames and things like that, which even makes the games funner. That was one. The other one, I believe, was called, the second one was called Comet. And Williams made a series of roller coaster pinball machines. Um, and Comet, I believe, was the first of those. I might be wrong. It has never been recreated yet in digital pinball, and this is the first time. So it was fun to go back and play it. And the final one was called Diner, and it was made along the lines, you might remember the old machine Taxi, where you drove around Mikhail Gorbachev and Santa and Dracula and others, Marilyn Monroe even, in a taxi. Well, this is, you have a bunch of people in a diner and you have to feed them. So it was really fun. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into uh, why I love pinball and why pinball means as much to me as it does. And let's just talk a little bit about um, pinball in and of itself, and how it started, and it, just a basic history, if you will. I remember, when I was 9 years old, I saw my first pinball machine. It was actually a mechanical pinball machine, so it didn't have anything digital on it. The scores were on a mechanical round piece that had the numbers on it, and it would just move them, right? And you had a ball on the bumpers and maybe a couple of holes and your flippers, and they were very simplistic in nature, but yet they had the lights and the sound and things, and they were so exciting to 9-year-old me. The first machine I ever saw was Evil Knievel. If you even remember who Evil Knievel was, he was a daredevil who used to do things like jump his motorcycle over buses and things like that. He even jumped. We have a term called jumping the shark, where it's where you've been watching a show for a long time, but then it does something that just goes a little bit too far, and then it loses its popularity after that. Well, that came from Evil Knievel. He jumped a shark literally with his motorcycle, and that was so people felt was so dumb and so different than anything he'd ever done. He began to lose his popularity after that. Kind of funny how that came from one Evil Knievel. The machine was bright red, white, and blue. It looked very American with, themed with chrome rails that gleamed under the bowling alley lights. I can remember, and I remember standing there just kind of barely tall enough to see the whole play field, and I had to like stretch up on my toes just to watch the ball rocket around the playfield and things. And my dad was bowling just a few lanes over, and he would always give me, a dollar or so, and I would try my best to play. Like I said, half the time I would have to try to get like a seat that I could either stand on or something to play the games. But I was mesmerized. See, that machine wasn't just a game to me; it felt alive. I mean, for a few moments in 9-year-old Brad's life, I was Evil Knievel. I got to, clack the flippers around and the chime of the bumpers. And then, of course, the artwork on the machines were just to die for. I can remember Evil Knievel in that red, white, and blue suit that he had with, with the leather little strips coming down off of it that he used to wear. He looked like a superhero back then. And it blew my mind. That was really the moment when I began to fall in love with pinball. As I grew up through the late 80s, pinball grew up with me. You see, the machines became smarter and louder, and more animated. I can remember the first time I encountered a pinball machine called Gorgar. It was the world's first talking pinball machine. It didn't just buzz and beep, it spoke. Gorgar, speak. Gorgar, mean. You hurt Gorgar. I mean, that voice changed everything for me, particularly with pinball. Suddenly, pinball had personality, and it would challenge you and tease you and make you feel like you were in a duel with the machines. From that point on, I was absolutely hooked. Every arcade that I visited, or every hotel that we stayed in, or the bowling alley, they had new machines waiting for me. Machines like Black Knight, Firepower, 8 Ball Deluxe, right? Loved 8 Ball Deluxe. Fathom, Centaur, Taxi, as I talked about earlier, High Speed, the police, to run from the police chasing game, Whirlwind, that had an actual fan on the machine that when the in-game hurricane hit would blow wind in your face. Funhouse was another great machine. Earthshaker, Pinbot, Bride of Pinbot, Cyclone, Comet, as I mentioned, Space Shuttle, Sorcerer, Flash Gordon, uh, Paragon, Meteor, Xenon, even Dr. Dude, Fishtails, the fishing game, Whitewater. I mean, Attack from Mars. I could go on and on and on. Each one was a new chapter in the story of pinball. I watched as the artwork evolved from hand painted fantasy, something that you might find on the cover of books, to digital brilliance. And the sound chips replaced the bells and the beeps. And then dot matrix displays began telling stories right on the back glass. Pinball wasn't just surviving, it was thriving and innovating. Pinball was way more than just entertainment. It was a bridge between mechanical engineering and digital gaming. You want to have your mind blown sometime? Ask somebody that has a machine to open it up and look underneath it. There are more wires in a pinball machine than you've ever seen in your entire life for things. You can imagine, how does this work? If even one of these wires gets out of place, this thing stops. It's crazy. They're mechanical marvels. Before video games ever took over, pinball taught us about physics and timing and precision. Every flipper press was a lesson in cause and effect. The designers were the original game developers. They built worlds out of wood, metal, and of course, imagination. And yet, the odd thing was pinball in its inception wasn't celebrated. In the 1940s and the early 50s, It was actually considered illegal gambling. Yeah, I didn't even know that. As I began researching for the show, I was dumbfounded to find that out. Cities like Chicago and New York banned it. The machines were seized, I should say, not stolen. They were seized from people and they were burned in public because people thought they were corrupting the youth with gambling. It wasn't until 1970s that pinball was actually redeemed. There was a specific player who demonstrated that this was a game of skill, not chance like gambling. Your skill determined the outcome, and that moment turned pinball from outlaw to entertainment art form. Now, fast forward to today. I've stayed with the hobby my entire life. I own many pinball machines, real full size pinball machines myself. And as you'll see this evening, I have a collection on Zen Pinball of over 120 digital pinball machines. They span the decades of design and innovation. Some are originals based on famous IPs that you'll recognize. Jurassic Park. There's, I think, three Jurassic Park and Jurassic World pinball machines. Star Wars, tons of Star Wars. The Simpsons, Ghostbusters, Tron, The Avengers, Deadpool, Godzilla, Elvira, The Mandalorian, the band Rush, Foo Fighters, AC/DC, Metallica, Led Zeppelin, Iron Maiden. Then there's like Stranger Things, The Beatles, The Walking Dead, Transformers, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings, even my heartfelt favorite Willy Wonka, and now Pokemon. But then there are the Williams classics, the ones that I can play at any time. The Adams Family, Twilight Zone, Indiana Jones: The Pinball Adventure, Creature from the Black Lagoon with the first pinball machine with a hologram in it, Theater of Magic, Tales of the Arabian Nights, Circus Voltaire, Champion Pub, Cactus Canyon, Monster Bash, Attack from Mars. I could go on and on and on. Every machine tells a story. For instance, the Twilight Zone is a labyrinth of magnets and multiballs, like you were in the Twilight Zone. Adam's Family is a symphony of humor and chaos. Indiana Jones is a pure adventure, with the ball whipping through temples and traps. And then Medieval Madness, one of my favorites, lets you destroy a castle on the machine with a satisfying crash. Attack from Mars makes you feel like you're saving the world from those ugly green aliens. These machines are living history, mechanical art that still thrills decades later. But today pinball is thriving all over again. Companies like Stern, Jersey Jack, and American Pinball are pushing the boundaries. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory dazzles with its candy colored ramps and its factory modes, chocolate factory modes. The game Jaws brings cinematic tension with a shark that lunges at your ball and a fin that slowly goes across the field. Pokemon combines nostalgia and strategy, letting you catch the creatures through gameplay. And Godzilla is a masterpiece of modern design with kinetic, explosive, and endlessly fascinating graphics and sound. And it's completely, totally replayable. These machines are feats of engineering. LCD screens, RGB lighting, Bluetooth connectivity, even, and deep rule sets that rival video games. Yet at their core, they still honor the same magic that captivated me when I was 9 years old: a silver ball, gravity, and skill. Pinball paved the way for video games. The idea of scoring, skill progression, and visual feedback, it didn't start, on the Odyssey or the Atari 2600. Designers actually like Steve Ritchie and Pat Lawler became legends. Their understanding of player psychology shaped both pinball and early arcade game design. The transition from mechanical to digital was seamless because pinball had already taught us how to play interactively. Without pinball, you would probably never have seen Pong, Space Invaders, or Pac-Man. The arcade culture was born from the same fascination. Lights, sounds, and the thrill of chasing a higher score. For me, pinball is more than nostalgia. It's a living connection to creativity, to craftsmanship, and community. You know, when I was younger and, you know, not good at pinball at all, my dollar might have lasted me 5 minutes because these games required a lot of skill, motor skill. I just didn't have at 9 years old. But I would sit around and watch the other adults play, and the adults were good, right? They were good at these machines. So good that many of the people who bowled with my dad would come play, and then they would win extra games. And if I was standing there when it came time for them to have to bowl, they would allow me to play their games that they won. That's community. That's somebody saying, "Hey, you want to play? I won some free games. Oh, and let me tell you, here's how to make this shot. Here's what this one does." And it was amazing time. And we just have so little of that in today's society. Every machine is a conversation between the designer and its player. It's like a puzzle that the designer creates, the player has to figure out. But it's also tactile and unpredictable and endlessly rewarding. Man, when those knockers smack the side of the machine when you've hit a special and won a game, you feel like you won a marathon. And when I press the flippers, I'm not just playing, I'm participating in the history of pinball. I've spent decades chasing that same feeling I had as a kid in the bowling alley. And now I'm happy to say that in my own basement, I can go relive my childhood again. But I also love these digital versions as well that I'm about to share with you here this evening. You can get some of the same feeling from them, although not quite the tactileness that's there. All right. So today I'm going to be showcasing Pinball FX from Zen Studios. It's the digital evolution of my lifelong passion. It's where my collection lives virtually alongside my physical machines. I can play the Jurassic Park, Twilight Zone, Addams Family, and Indiana Jones, all recreated in stunning accuracy and a lot even added, as I mentioned, and no quarters needed. All right, why don't we now take a look at these digital wizards from Pinball FX? Okay, I will make myself real tiny and put myself down here so that we can see more of the gameplay. Okay. All right. So hopefully you can hear the gameplay. There we go. And I'm gonna get it turned back up again there for you. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll just go over to let's see, tables. And here's my collection. So as I mentioned, we have Fire, the new game. There's Comet. And there's Diner. But then there's also what are called Pinball Wild Cards. I have Tomb Raider. And there's another Tomb Raider Secrets of the Croft Manor. There's the Princess Bride pinball machine. And even Goat Simulator. If you played the Goat Simulator game, which is absolutely, it's on its third version, and you should. It is a hoot to play, and kids love it. You get a pinball machine from it. Then Zen created a whole set of original machines. Like there's this, what they call Super League Football, which is soccer. You have Excalibur and Epic Quest. I'm not going to go through all these because there's like 120 of them, but I'll kind of try to go a little slower as I go down through here. There's the Brace Yourself pinball games, Crypt of the Necrodancer pinball. That was a video game as well that they turned into a pinball machine. DreamWorks Pinball has Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon, and Trolls. Game Night Pinball. These are made from board games, believe it or not. Exploding Kittens, you might have heard. There's a pinball machine for that. Gloomhaven. One of the coolest dungeon crawling board games you'll ever play, and it takes hours and hours and hours to play. And by the way, there is a Steam version that you can buy and play on your PC. Well, here is the video pinball version of that. And then there's Transforming Mars, another very popular board game. Gearbox, the video game company, has Brothers in Arms. They have Borderlands, and they have Homeworld. Hasbro has My Little Pony. Then you have Legendary Pinball from the movie company Legendary. We have Pacific Rim. You have Godzilla versus Kong. Then you have just regular Godzilla, and then you have just regular Kong. Check that out. Pinball machine that's got Kong in it, and he moves. It's pretty crazy. Then you have Marvel, a ton of Marvel machines. You have there's Marvel's Women of Power Champions. You have what's called A-Force, Marvel's Women of Power A-Force, which was in the comics was the A-Force were Avengers were all women. And you have regular Avengers. You have the Infinity Gauntlet. You have Fear itself, which was an actual whole story arc in Marvel Comics. And it played across many of the Marvel superheroes. You've got Venom, of course. You've got the Guardians of the Galaxy, another Avengers Age of Ultron. You got Ant-Man. You got the World War Hulk, Deadpool, Civil War, Moon Knight, X-Men, Thor, Wolverine, Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, Captain America, and Ghost Rider, Blade, Spider-Man, and Iron Man. I don't know why I didn't know Nickelodeon owned Garfield, but I guess they do, and there's a very simple Garfield machine for the kids. Paramount has a pinball machine about World War Z, the fast-moving zombie movie. And then there's Peanuts. Man, I've been a sucker for Peanuts my entire life. It started with the very first time I saw Charlie Brown Christmas. This is the Charlie Brown Christmas pinball machine. And then you also have the Snoopy pinball machine. South Park has 2 different tables you could play. The Star Trek pinball, you have Star Trek Discovery, you have Deep Space Nine, and then just what they're calling Star Trek Kelvin Timeline. And then you have a ton of Star Wars pinball machines. You have classic collectibles. Notice there's Star Wars action figures in the machines that you can actually get to pop up out of the machine. You have the Mandalorian. You've got the Calrissian Chronicles from Lando Calrissian that also has Han Solo in it, as you saw there. You've got the Battle of Mimban. You've got Solo Pinball. You've got Might of the First Order, which is all about Kylo Ren. You've got Star Wars Rebels, if you're a cartoon watcher. You've got Rogue One. Oh man, that Darth Vader scene in Rogue One is the best. You've got The Last Jedi. You've got Ahch-To Island, that island that Luke was on. It actually gets its own pinball machine, believe it or not. You got The Force Awakens. You got The Masters of the Force. You've got Episode 4, A New Hope. You have droids. You have just Han Solo. You have the Clone Wars. Boba Fett. Man, I wish this Solo series on Disney would have been better. I liked it, but most people didn't. You've got The Return of the Jedi. You've got Darth Vader. My man, Darth Vader. You've got Starfighter Assault. And then finally, The Empire Strikes Back. You have Universal Studios, Battlestar Galactica, Xena, Princess. You have Knight Rider. And then you also have Jurassic Park, Pinball Mayhem. You have Jurassic World Pinball. You have Jurassic Park, just regular pinball. Then you have this awesome Jaws machine where Jaws comes to get you and it turns dark Knight. And you see him come up and try to grab there's also a fin that comes through. This is one of my favorite machines. You have Back to the Future, and you even have E.T. And yes, he phones home. Okay, now you have all the Williams machines, and we've already been through Fire, Comet, Diner. You have Elvira and the Party Monsters. You have Elvira Scared Stiff. You have Bonsai Run Pinball. The machine actually has a pinball machine in the stand-up part of the machine. The very first pinball machine to ever have that. You have Fishtails, which is a fishing pinball. You have Pinbot. You have this incredible machine called Who Done It, where you're trying to solve a murder mystery. You have Taxi. You have Black Knight 2000, Earthshaker, Star Trek Next Generation. An amazingly fun, incredibly deep, filled with story pinball machine that I consider one of my favorites. You've got that Twilight Zone. Love this machine. The Addams Family, one of the highest selling and grossing pinball machines ever, is here for you to play. Indiana Jones and the Pinball Adventure. Swords of Fury. You have the Machine, Bride of the Pinbot. You have Whirlwind. You have World Cup Soccer. I love World Cup Soccer. Believe it or not, it has the same voice in it from NBA Jam. And he does some announcing on this table. Mr. Fitzrow. Love his voice. You have Dr. Dude and his excellent Ray. You have Space Station. You have Funhouse. And here's another piece of trivia. The voice of the dummy in Funhouse is Mr. Tobias of Mortal Kombat fame, because he worked at Williams at that time. No Good Gophers, a golfing pinball machine. Tales of the Arabian Nights. You have Champion Pub. This is actually a boxing game where there's a person in the middle that you box by. Right there, you see him? You smash him with pinballs. There's Whitewater. There's Red and Ted's Roadshow. Hurricane. Circus Voltaire. Safecracker, which is a machine that you don't just play a number of balls. If you're good, you can play this game for hours, but most people drain really quickly. The flippers are tiny. But the deal is, each time the ball drains, you lose 5 minutes off of your 1 hour playtime that you get. And as the balls keep draining, your minutes leave quickly. Trust me, you won't play this game longer than maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But you're trying to crack into safes, and it's very fun to play. It's a great novelty machine. Theater of Magic is another great game that has the magic cube in the middle of it. You have the Party Zone. Black Rose is a pirate machine, and there's actually a cannon right in the middle of the machine that fires the ball at ships, and then ships fire their balls back at you. Attack from Mars, just an amazing machine that you have to play in your lifetime. It not only reminds you of the movie, but it's just great fun to play. Monster Bash. If you love the Universal Monsters, they are trying to form a band with Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. And if you get them to form the band, they will actually perform a musical concert for you. Speaking of Universal Monsters, there's Creature from the Black Lagoon with there in the middle of the machine at the bottom. You see those bubbles? That's a hologram. Look, it's pretty amazing. Then there's Medieval Madness, that one where you crash the castle. You have Getaway, where you're trying to get away from the police. Junkyard, where you play pinball in a junkyard. And that's it, friends. That's all of them. So, with all of that said, I'm going to go back down to the Williams now and spend the remaining time just playing a few of the Williams machines that I love so much. So let's pick out some good ones. I want you to see some... Oh, well, okay, I lied. Let's play Jaws.
Jaws.
So there are so many different options than pinball gives you. You can change views. You can make them... machine harder or easier.
I remember. Back in the day, we didn't have all this fancy stuff.
I love how the camera zooms around the table and you can see things. Oh, there's that ominous fin. Look at it. And it shows you the different shots that you can make. And you can view a table guide. If I press X here, it'll take me to the table guide. So it says, okay, in Jaws Pinball, there are main modes for Quint and Jaws as well. Jaws modes can also be activated when a Quint mode is running, resulting in a showdown. The Quint modes are the following. And you just go on to the next one. So you can see there, see the red arrows? They're pointing to you. It says, shoot the orbits to activate Quint mode. As the shark lurks around, certain lanes become lit, right? You can see the lights flashing there. So this basically just tells you how to play the game, what all the shots are, and how to score your best. That's a cool thing to have.
Back in the
So
day,
I just
we
hit
didn't have all this
play.
fancy stuff.
Okay,
That's
now
one. Hit
this
it.
is kind of a weird view. You'll notice the LED in the back says skill shot, launch the ball, hit moving
Hurry up,
targets.
Chief.
Do you
Daylight's
see that?
wasting.
Right now you can't really see that fin, those fins that keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit my Y and I'm going to change this out to a larger view where I can see. Now I'm playing on a Xbox controller. Okay. So what you can do is you pull back on the right stick to pull the plunger back. And when I get it in the right spot and I think I can hit a fin, I'll let it go. Oh, I got it. See? And now my left trigger is the left controller, or left flipper, and my right one is the right one here. Okay, so I'm just going to try to make some shots, and I'm going to do poorly, of course. There's up there in the middle is like a wooden dock. So there, I want to keep hitting that. Also, believe it or not, you can shake these machines and nudge. Oh,
Maybe
that
I
was
should
stupid.
go alone.
Yeah,
You
that
did
was my
good.
ball out. You can
We
shake the
still haven't
machine
caught
with
the
your
beast.
like this. See it go up? I can, or left and right.
There's one. Hit
And I
it.
do that with the left stick. All right, so I got to change my view again, and I'm gonna pull this back.
That is
Got
some
it
good
again.
aiming, Chief.
That's 2 for 2. Also, you'll notice here in the bottom where it says bite again, and that's flashing. Because if the game doesn't want you to drain early and lose your fun. So if I drained right now, just like this, it would
You got
just,
lucky there.
you got lucky there. The ball saved and it just puts it back into play for me. So you have that going for you on these games as well. So again, I'm just, and I don't know if you're paying attention, but you can hear the ball like rolling against the wood. Listen for that. Oh, I missed a shot off that flipper up there. Here we go.
Lock the ball.
Oh, now I can lock the ball.
You got that one locked all
There.
right.
Locked it in the cage. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. And you can see, the more I play and the more I do, the shark at the top starts, I'm agitating Jaws, so he's going to want to come out soon. See him up there?
Friggin'.
If I can get that wooden cage out of the way, we're going to see Jaws. Not doing bad so far.
I'm gonna take a look, Chief. Hope that pier is more stable than it seems.
Here before long, it ought to start getting dark, too. Well, I got lucky. All right, let's try to hit it again. Missed it. Got it.
Hurry up.
I got to keep hitting that cage again as well. Doggone it. Ooh, shoot. So I can lock another ball. Missed it. Getting close. See if I can hit it this time.
Lock
Got
the
it.
ball.
All right, he said lock the ball. I can get the second ball. See, again, more balls you lock, then you can get this multi-ball going. Oh, no. Notice how the music's getting more tense? All right, can I lock the ball? No, I came so close. I came so close. Oh, no. Look. Oh.
Down you go. Real fine
Quint,
stuff, but it won't be a thing to Mr.
got off
Whitey,
of the
course.
boat and went
He didn't
into
go to schools in
onto the
electronics.
pier. That's
It's
what we
more of what
want.
he does best. Eat. There's one. Hit it.
All right, let's see if we can hit the shark again. 3 times in a row. Ah, I missed him. No skill
Hurry
shot
up,
that
Chief.
time.
Daylight's wasting. Come on, Chief. It ain't that hard. Well, Chief, I have to say I'm impressed.
Making some shots, but I got a feeling it's about over. Yeah, it's about over.
Oh, that was close.
Oh, the ball was saved. Okay. Oh, now look. It's night.
Follow the flashlight.
See, Quint's using the flashlight on the boat. You see it moving around? See, you don't get that in normal pinball, folks. You only get this in Zen pinball. Ah,
Down you
no.
go.
Daggone it. I'm sorry.
You're here for the numbers, aren't you? I'm here to catch a shark.
You're here for the number.
We're
So my
gonna need a
final
bigger
score.
boat.
We're gonna need a bigger boat. What was my final score? So it takes me to eventually to a screen here. There, 5,053,772. This is your new local high score in the 8th place. So that's my 8th highest score that I've done on this machine. So now I can just confirm that with A. And then I've earned 11,380 out of 11,580 total experience points on this machine. You can see the rewards that I've unlocked there. And my table, I've unlocked all the rewards on this machine because I love this machine to pieces. So right now I can A, play again, Y, see the leaderboards, or B, exit the table. So we'll exit this table. We'll go back to the selection screen and we can play another machine. So what are we gonna play next? What is one of my absolute favorites? Let me show you Star Trek: The Next Generation. And I apologize if these get a little loud. See, over here in the game modes section, I don't know if I move my mouse, if you're going to be able to actually see my mouse. Yo, you can, okay. So I can play classic or I can play pro, which pro takes all that weird stuff that they've added into the machines, like that, you know, like the nighttime and all that, and it makes it, this is what the real pinball machine is, okay? So you're only going to get what a normal pinball player would see. Or there's arcade, or there's hot seat, where hot seat is I play, you play, I play, you play. And then there are classic challenges. It gives you a specific number of flips, like flips with your flippers. And how much can you score with 50 flips, which is cool. Or there's one ball. How much can you score with just one ball? Or here's in 3 minutes, how much can you score? Or distance the ball travels even. How much can you score if the ball travels 1 mile or something like that, right? And then you can play unranked practice, where you can literally, with your mouse, say, okay, if I put the ball here on the table and I had this thing on, and this thing on, what would it do? That's pretty cool. That allow you to do that, right? Right now, though, new game is 3 balls only, and that means my progress. I can save my progress. By the way, at any point while you're playing a game, let's say your mom calls you and it's time for dinner. We all know what that was like, right? When we were younger. Then you can just hit your pause button and close the game down. You can come right back and you can literally pick up from where you were, and there'll be a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then the ball will continue on like it was. And then you can do table physics. You can do normal and realistic, right? Which is all pretty cool. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the game. And it does its loading business. Sorry, I know that's loud. This is a loud machine. It plays its
Welcome to
theme.
the
Welcome aboard.
Okay. So right now, you see at the top, it's saying my skill shot is flipper skill shot, launch probe, light lock, warp factor 4, and it just keeps going. When I hit my button, it'll either start mission, do this, launch probe. What I want to do is launch probe. So, boom. Now what happens is it puts the ball right there. When I hit my left flipper, it's going to let that go. You see that flashing arrow on the screen? I have to try to hit that, and I missed it. I'm going to move her. Yeah, I'm going to change her view there.
Suggestions. We could destroy the asteroids in our path, sir. Make it so.
See the asteroids get destroyed?
Evasive maneuvers.
Now, every light that's lit that I hit destroys another asteroid. But you have to keep hitting different shots. You can't just keep hitting the same shot. I'm doing terrible. So you're not trying to actually roll the ball over any of those asteroids. You're trying to hit the actual shots. Again, I'm sorry this is really loud. There's not much I can do about that.
Flare 2.
Okay, once again, I want to launch probe because I love that.
Launch a probe.
I dropped it down the right-hand side. This time I'm trying to hit that lit arrow, and I think I'm going to do it right now. Missed it.
The probe has discovered nothing, sir.
And then data comes on. The probe has discovered nothing, sir, because I didn't hit anything. Center shot destroys asteroids.
Suggestions. We could destroy the asteroids in our path, sir. Make it so.
Hit it. We're back to doing that again. Now all those white arrows shots I need to hit. And I drain immediately. Because this is a fast machine. And it can be very, very difficult to play
Flare
well.
1.
Let's launch another probe.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Oh, it didn't launch it this time. Oh, that's because I missed twice before, I think. Okay, now I get to choose my mission. Wormhole, Search the Galaxy, Battle Simulation, Hughes Challenge, Rescue, Asteroid Threat Rerun, Timer. Let's do Timer. The Rift adds time and increases your reward.
Picking up a distortion in the space-time continuum.
We've all gone back in time.
And I drained again, and my game is over. So, as you can see, great. Oh, wait.
2.
It still says ball 2. I gotta keep changing my view here. Launch the probe again. And it's not launching it anymore. And now we're doing wormhole. Shoot the left ramp.
Hold on tight. Could get rough.
Somehow I gotta get my ball over on the right hand. Here we go, and missed it. Oh, let's get it back over here. The right hand side if I can. All right, now I need to hit that right ramp here. Missed it again.
What is our exact location? Unknown, Captain.
Wow. Talk about playing poorly. I'm not getting any missions done. I'm not doing anything great here at all.
Flare 1.
This time I'll light a lock lit. So I have a one locked ball.
The Borg have entered Federation space.
Now the Borg are after us.
Admiral Biaggi out.
Course laid in, sir. Engage.
Cruising at warp factor 2.
Readings indicate lock is lit, sir.
Come on, come down this right hand side. Yes.
Cruising at warp factor 3. Sir, a strange object is dead ahead.
On screen.
Start mission risk. Uh-oh. There's a shuttle.
Evacuate all personnel.
Energize.
5 transported.
Energize.
5 transported. I missed. There's another one.
Energize.
5 more. Ah, there it is. 28 personnel rescued. See, love the missions in pinball. And I believe.
Player 2.
Oh, it's player 1 and play. I actually set it up for 2-player mode. You know what? Okay, I didn't want to do that. Sorry. So we're just going to exit this table. We'll cancel right now. That's a Star Trek. Love, 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 love Star Trek. And let me check the time here. Oh, we're at about 45 minutes, and I know no one likes long episodes. So I have to pick one more really, really good table. You know what? I'm going to do the World Cup. This has a spinning soccer ball on it and a goalie that blocks the net. You have to try to make goals. Okay.
The players are taking
See the goalie at the top? And you see that spinning soccer ball. Obviously you want to get the ball into the net. Hey, blocked.
Stamina. Skill. Spirit.
Nope. There's actually here in the left, on the left-hand side, just above my left-hand bumper, there's a magnet save, so I can actually hit a button and a magnet will cause the ball to stop there, and that helps me line up the shot on the goalie. Made a goal. Now the soccer ball stops and the goalie stops. Oh, I couldn't get it in next time.
tea time in Boston.
That little dog-looking character a long time ago used to be the mascot for the FIFA International Cup. Made another goal. And I think that locked a ball. Yeah, ball locked.
Qualified for the final draw. Next match, Austria.
Oh, I'm playing multi-ball. Shoot, I didn't know that.
He scored the jackpot.
Made a goal.
An incredible shot. I can't believe it went in. Next close shot.
Oh man, goal after goal.
Incredible save. Another goal. What a shot.
I'm still on multi-ball.
Is unstoppable goal. You're a
Oh,
Great Britain.
I love that Tim Kitzrow, this announcer. Okay, I can shoot the ball.
The goal.
I got it in. Goal. That was an onside kick. Or a side kick. Say not onside.
Strength.
Ah, that's it. Okay. 3 goals, ultra bonus. Wow. And then they always had these little extra things. If your last 2 numbers match the last 2, you won a game. What an action-packed table that is, right? I absolutely love that. My score there was 510,738,000. I ranked 7,889th on that particular game, which was not good at all. Period. All right, friends, that is Zen Pinball. So tell me, what do you think? What are your thoughts on Zen Pinball? What are your thoughts on pinball in general? Is pinball something that you enjoy playing? Did you play when you were, little or growing up? Or I know most arcades these days, just like you go into a Dave and Buster's and you're in an old Dave and Buster's, like one of the originals. If you see one with like pinball machines, right? Most of the time these days, you have to go to regular arcades like the Galloping Ghost Arcade in Brookfield, Illinois, the world's largest arcade. They also have a pinball area, and they have some of the newest. They even have a a Joust pinball machine made from the video game Joust. That is actually one player plays on one end of the machine, and you play on the other end, and you're literally flipping balls back and forth at each other. It is a hoot to play. I love everything about pinball. From the time I very first saw the machine, I can remember seeing that Evil Knievel machine. There was the $6 Million Man machine. I even saw a Dolly Parton machine. I mean, there were so many cool machines, and I just love telling people about them. And that kinetic feel of pushing the button and getting that ball to do what you want it to do, or learning how to trap a ball on the flipper. It's a skill, and I love the digital pinball. Please don't get me wrong. Obviously, I have 120 games on it, right? And those are all paid, right? Paid for every one of them. And I gladly paid because I love these recreations. But also, I love going down in my basement. I love hitting the free play and going to town on my Jurassic Park machine, right? Watching the T Rex grab the ball and hearing the sounds of that Jurassic Park music. It's just amazing. I love it. I love everything to do with it. So again, hit me up in the comments. Let me know, what do you think about pinball? Do you prefer regular hands-on pinball? Are you a purist? I know a lot of purists that say, I'll never play digital pinball. I also know people who have full pinball-sized machines in their homes that only are LCD screens, and they just play digital pinball in them. And it looks and it feels kind of like I should say, like you're playing real pinball when you look at it. But of course, it doesn't feel that way because there's no ball and no real flippers or anything. Even though they try using actuator motors to make it feel that way. Just like my arcade pad rumbles, right? When the machine rumbles or the ball moves, I can feel it moving, and it's kind of cool to play. So I'm not an absolute purist. Of course, I love playing my machines or finding a new machine in an arcade. But if I had my druthers, as us old people would say, I'd much rather play the real thing. But when I can't, I've got 120 machines I can go to at any time and play. And Zen Pinball has this amazing feature on it where you just say pick a random machine and pick a random option. So sometimes it'll say, okay, Brad, here's Elvira and the Party Monsters, and you're going to play a 3-minute challenge. And then I just play whatever it picks for me, and I play the challenge and go, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun having that flexibility at your fingertips. So again, if I had to pick my all-time favorite pinball machine, my number one machine, like if I could only have one machine on the desert island with me, what would that machine be? And friends, that's like trying to pick a favorite child. But if I had to, I'm going to tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's a machine that's called The Walking Dead. And I love The Walking Dead show. I love that machine. It has so many toys in it. It has one of that big fat well zombie that was in the farm that they ran across. It has so many cool shots. The lighting is great. What they're called call outs when you hear voices and things, they're all spot on. They're perfect from the show. It's just an amazing machine to play. I love every second that I play that machine. Do you have a favorite? And if you do, please let me know down in the comments what your favorite pinball machine is. All right. If you've lasted this long in this video, bless you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, I always try to keep these things a little bit shorter, but I know somehow or another they're starting to creep up on me again. I gotta get a hold of that. All right, friends. I just want to thank you again so much for your time this evening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the liking, subscribing, disliking, telling everyone never to watch this crazy show again. And as well, hope you'll come back later on in the week and join me for the next episode when I turn into Buff Daddy and give you the entire rundown on Survivor. So, with that said, always remember in pinball, it's not about the score, it's about the experience. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Thanks, friends. I'll see you on the next show. Take care.